want to just say hello, quickly introduce myself. I'm Lisa Guernsey. I'm a journalist. I write often for the New York Times and other publications about media and kids, and I have my own kids, and just put out a book about Into the Minds of Babes, how screen time affects children birth to age 5. But I'm here today, thrilled to be on this panel, and we're going to be looking at more questions, getting deeper into discussion of literacy and what new literacy we need to be thinking about in the coming years. And to kind of get us warmed up on this, I have a note I'd like you all to help me read. So if you could please put that up on the screen. So I have a 6-year-old, and her name is Janelle. She's in kindergarten. She wrote this to me one Saturday morning, slipped it under the door while my husband and I were sleeping. And I thought this would kind of give us a sense of what age groups we're talking about here. So if you can read along with me, I'm telling you this is inventive spelling, okay, for those of you who understand this. So we have, Dear Dad and Mom, you are sleeping. That's the word sleeping. In too late. We are ready. You are really sleepy. Love, Janelle. Yes, this is the note I get under my door at it's 7:15 in the morning on a Saturday. Basically, I thought I would just throw this out there as a way to kind of ground us and help us remember the kids that we're talking about today. But also, I think that it's interesting that she wrote this using pen on paper. So I think that's something we can't forget. And I also think there's something interesting about the idea of, hey, you, parents, wake up. Yo, you're really sleepy. So I thought that would be a fun way to kind of introduce. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on introductions because we have a lot to get through. Fascinating people up here on our panel today. And I want to just kind of start by saying there's a couple of things we're going to be talking about. We are going to be talking about my daughter's class and those ahead of her, the class of 2020, essentially. I mean, she's 6 now. She's the class of 2020. So what does she need to know when she graduates? What kind of literacy should she have under her belt? And I also hope, and I think it's very important, Susan Newman's remarks about the other America and kids who don't have the same kind of privileges that my daughter does as they try to become more literate in today's world. But I also think it's fascinating to hear about the 4th grade slump. It's fascinating and it's distressing. And I think we're going to try to get into that a little bit in this panel here. What is the 4th grade slump? It's the idea that in maybe kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, 3rd grade, children from perhaps more at-risk backgrounds, they seem to be decoding okay. They're reading all right. They're testing out okay. They seem to be able to kind of get the words and the blending, and they're reading. Then they hit 4th grade, and they suddenly have to know something about the content of what they're reading and be able to then use that to transform their reading. And this is where we're seeing problems, as James Paul G. has pointed out so well in his report. So we need to think a little bit about, and the panelists, I hope, can get into some of that here tonight or today.